Hey guys, it's me for another Friday chit chat video. I um I have a few things to talk about. Let's okay, I took a picture of my notes on my phone, on my daughter's phone. Um so I don't forget the points I want to make cuz I feel like they are super complex. Anyway, so I just have a thought experiment with you guys. Comment below. I'm really interested in hearing your perspective. If you found out somebody you admire doesn't believe in what you believe in, would you stop following them? Would you stop admiring them? Would you stop whatever supporting them? There's a saying, never meet your hero. You guys heard of that, right? Do you know why they say that? From what I understand, is because so that's things in my eye. People are humans and humans do things. They make mistakes. They're not perfect, right? And so it's not good to idealize people. Is that a word? Yes, something like that. You get it. Because they will disappoint you when you find out who they really are. They're not particularly a bad person, but you're not going to always agree with everything that they do. Style, whatever, even if something really bad or not. Does that make sense? And you might admire that person for a lot of their human qualities, what they do in life, but sometimes you may not. And that would really bring a huge disappointment. An example, I'm just making this up. An example is, you guys know Will Smith, right? Like, at one point, who didn't love him? Like, everybody made people laugh, like, just great. And then a lot of shit went down about his family, and then, before that, but it happened, but then before that, he smacked Chris Rock, right? Everybody was like, "Oh, I forgave him." It's a whole thing, okay? My husband felt like he did not, and he's really disappointed in him, and he was very disappointed, right? Fair enough, but and I understand why, but I feel like people make mistakes, and you have to understand he was high off of this, wife protector mode. Anyway, the point is he disappointed my husband and many people. And so a lot of people stopped supporting him in his movies and all that stuff, right? And so what point do you separate the art from the artist? They always say that, right? If you don't agree with somebody, let's say somebody that's a singer, right? If they did some bad things in their life, which we all heard, do you stop listening to their music? Now, I think the answer, for me at least, the answer is this. I think so. First of all, it depends. Do I stop following them? Do I stop supporting them? It depends. If I feel like, I have to put it in perspective. If I feel like what they did goes against my moral, whatever the word is, then yes, I would like to assume I would stop following them, stop supporting them, stop giving my money, whatever it is. So, for example, I'll make an extreme example. Let's say I find out this person right here, whether they are a singer or somebody I looked up to, like you guys, follow business coaches, you might look up to them because they teach you how to do things, right? I would stop following somebody if I find out they murder people. Okay? And that's an extreme example, but or they sell kids for drug money. Or I probably shouldn't say that on YouTube, but it's an example. Don't don't close my account down. Something is really extreme that goes against my moral thing, and I know it's really extreme. There's other things that are not so extreme that goes against my moral. What's the word? Something. But that's when I would say, nope, you're out, right? And I can give you more examples of what my moral standards are, but it's irrelevant for this video. I just want to know what your ideas are. Some people, the moment that people find out that, they're they voted for a certain president, they're like, you're out, I shun you. I'm like, yo, can't people have differing opinions? Like, right? You may not like what that party stands for, but you have to understand that these political parties, like, they don't represent all my beliefs. So let's say, for example, here's Sally, okay? Sally is a Republican, but certain things that Republicans do, she may not agree with everything. So stop putting her in this box, right? Like, You don't have to go crazy. So stop being angry at your neighbors if they are voting for one particular party over another, or stop being angry with family members. That's dumb. And even if you found out that they believe a certain thing that that party believes, people can have differing opinions. It's ridiculous. People are ridiculous unless those opinions are really against my moral standards. Like it has to be like against it. Like, these are my max, right? Do I spank my kids? No, I don't do that. But I'm not gonna, my moral standards are pretty high. So like, if you spank your kids because you're trying to discipline them, I've heard of worse things in the world, okay? Like, give me a break, okay? Depends on how the spanking is, but nonetheless. So I just wonder, like, what you guys think about that. I always think about that. A lot of people will cancel you the second, like, you make a wrong turn, right? And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. I think we do vote with our money and how we support people, and that's fine. But hear me out before I move on to the next topic. You would be extremely disappointed to find out that all the people you look up to and follow, whatever, are humans, and if you knew everything about their lives, they would probably disappoint you. You're not going to agree with everything everybody does. And if you do, they're probably your best friend, give or take, right? In fact, if you guys know me fully, you may not like certain things about me. In fact, I'm sure you wouldn't. Oh, I'm not sure. But, I mean, you could argue that the probability is that you won't agree with everything I do or say in my personal life, Does that mean you should stop following me for business advice? Well, it's up to you. I just wonder where you guys draw the line. I just wonder. I'm literally humanly curious. So my next topic I want to talk about. Well, okay, let me get to what I believe I titled this video. I actually don't know what I'm gonna title it. Then I'll get to something else, like lighthearted in the end. I have an addiction. Okay. I realize this over time. It's a truth about when I do side hustles. Okay. And so I noticed that, I built a financial freedom with my business, my e-commerce business. Great. Fantastic. I love doing, teaching you guys YouTube, but that's really a passion of mine. But show me a person who gets excited. Okay. I make millions in my e-commerce, but show me a person, the same person that makes millions, who also gets excited off of making dollars, literally pennies and dollars. You might say, elaborate. Yeah, well, I'm working on a side project. Not the KDP. The KDP thing this month, we ended, what month are we in? We're November. I ended, I showed a screenshot in YouTube posts. I think I ended at almost $7,000. So that's great. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about another project I have going on. And I'm literally making pennies on it. Sometimes 20 cents, sometimes $1, sometimes, and I get so excited. I log in every morning and I check the stats. Why is that? Why is it that I have this addiction? It's the progress. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the answer. It's the progress. It's the progress. It's the journey. I think I love my e-com business. It gave me financial freedom. But I find myself trying to find the new thing, probably because of my ADHD. I'm working on that, but it's probably it. But I also think I enjoy the journey of building a business, enjoy the journey of seeing the fruits of my labor. So it's an addiction of some sort, right? That's why I start side hustles when I wanna bring in sources of revenue. So if you were to tell me, Dahlia, I looked into your future and I saw that the current thing you're doing now that only gives you 20 cents a day or $1 a day is gonna stay like that, even with all your efforts, 2 years from now, then I'd probably stop doing it. I know I will, but my gut tells me it will grow. So it's the process. It's the process of, the journey. It really is. I notice. And I love that. But I love having a journey that will eventually make me more money. best of both worlds. I enjoyed the process, I enjoyed the journey, but also it makes me money. Yes, granted, a small amount in the beginning, but I expect it to go higher. By the way, you're standing on my salt and pepper shaker. I probably could have got a better setup. So just in case you fall, that's why. So, you know, you're going to hate me for this, but I just mentioned how KDP in October has made me almost $7,000. That's amazing. In the month, in October month. Prior to that, it was like almost 6 or something like that. Prior to that, it was about 5. Anyway, I stopped checking it daily. I used to check it daily. It doesn't mean that $7,000 means nothing to me. I still check it once in a while. But what I'm checking more is the stuff that's making me pennies. Is that weird? That's weird. First of all, it is weird. But I explained myself. And I still want that $7,000 or hopefully more and more every month. I still want it to come in. But I stopped checking it. It doesn't give me that high, that dopamine rush of something new that I started that's making money. That's what it is. That's why I have to get my ADHD under control, because I seek dopamine. And anyway, but the beauty of me running my own business and being a boss is that I could do that as long as it meets strategy and I'm actually making money from it, not just going in circles. And by the way, I know many people who are like that, who want, but they're not getting results. So at least I could say that my addiction is providing something. Oh, wow. My TV is set to show photos of my Google photos, and I saw a really cool photo. It passed before I showed it to you. Anyway, let me set you up. Perfect. So anyway, we do that to reminisce. It's really nice. It's so nice. Like, it's not like a vibe for my home, but it's so nice to reminisce on the old photos. It's so nice. I recommend it if you could do that. If you have a Google Smart TV or probably a general Smart TV, you could Google it. I'm sure you figure out how to pair them. It's so much fun to sit there and just talk about the photos. So much fun. Anyway, so yeah, that's the truth about my addictions, my side hustles. I could hyper focus on one thing for a very long time, but it just depends. I will then change it sometimes. So what could I tell you? It's bad sometimes, to be honest, because why am I to one side of the screen? Hold on a second. Trying to set my thing up so it doesn't fall. It's bad because I do believe that focusing on one thing and really going to town on it, like my e-com business, would dramatically increase it. But I believe, I'm not making excuses, I'm just telling the truth, I believe my ADHD prevents me from doing that. And I am allowed to because I have a team executing it. It's not like I'm really risking my business by me personally from fulfilling the orders if I just start doing other things. No, I have a team that takes care of it now, and I'm able to dabble in a whole bunch of other things. I love it. Now, I'll be honest. In a couple of weeks, I am meeting with a psychiatrist. I haven't met with a psychiatrist in over a decade. Yeah, a decade. I think that my ADHD has empowered me to build my business the way it is, but sometimes it holds me back. And I'll be honest with you, the last year it's been holding me back. I don't know why. But it is. Nothing going on at home. Home life is great. Personal life is great. I just notice I'm struggling more at work in terms of my workflow. So I'm meeting with one to see if it's maybe time to go back on meds, because a long time ago, I used to be on it. I had to stop because I was barely able to sleep. I was sleeping. I'm revealing too much information, but it's fine. I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night, and I was super refreshed. I mean, there's a few other issues I had, but I'm hoping to stick with it long enough. And now I have no insurance, so I just have to pay cash. But stick with the psychiatrist long enough to help figure out the best meds for me. Because even though I do like my dopamine, I like seeking dopamine and doing these like side projects, I don't want to lose who I am, but I don't think I will. I think even before I was still who I am, but it'll help me be a little bit more focused. We'll see. The last thing I want to talk about, I have it on my notes here, is just like a fun thing I want to share with you. I'm like not an expert, but I'm really good at keeping my anxiety in check. So a long time ago, I used to have I wouldn't call it severe anxiety. I would have anxieties, right? Anxiety issues. Nothing crazy severe, I think, but it would really bother me. Some things. And so I learned to be very controlling, and I control a lot of things in my environment so I don't have to feel anxious. Okay. Is that great that I'm controlling? Maybe not, but whatever. It works for me. And so another thing I do to help control my anxiety. So here's a tip for you guys. Okay. I'm really good at perspective, like really good. And this might, I don't know what you think about this, but, okay, you're going to hate me for saying this, but it doesn't matter. Smart people watching this will get the point. Okay. I saw a Facebook post. I belong to a baby group of people filled with Serene's age. They all were born around the same time. I saw a post of a baby in a full body cast because he broke his femur. I don't know what that is. And she was asking for prayers, and then the baby was doing much better, etc. Right? And I was like, oh man. And people were like, really sorry, blah, blah. And of course, it's so sad. And then I thought, any normal person would be so stressed and upset. And it is. It's very bad. But it doesn't help to be stressed about it. It doesn't help anybody, right? And you can still feel emotion, but what I'm really good at is perspective. I'm really good at looking at that situation, if it was my kid, for example, and saying, one, it could be worse. That's one thing I always use. So these are my little hacks to feeling better if I'm anxious about something or stressed. Literally. And there's more to it. I'm not going to cover it all in this video. But it could be worse. And then another perspective I use is, oh, by the way, here's the thing I wrote down. She had that was not the issue. The issue was, well, yes, it is an issue, having the baby being broken or whatever. I don't know what a femur is. She had a full paid vacation Disney trip planned in like 8 days, I think she said. I don't know. And she was like, oh no, like, what am I going to do, And it's funny because, that sucks, right? Because then I have to cancel the trip and it's not refundable. That would suck, right? But I'm really good at perspective and saying, you know what? It's okay. We wasted this money, but we already paid for it. It's not like it cost me extra money now, right? Also, I'm glad I got insurance, right? I'm assuming she assumes that. Like if I was her, I would think about this perspective. Another thing I would think about is, maybe, I know you guys, you don't get it, but let me just say, this is me, okay? It really helps me, so take notes. I would look at it and be like, you know what? This probably prevented us from going to Disney for something. Like there was a reason. And yes, I don't want my baby to break their femur, right? Whatever that means, but I feel like it was done for a reason. And even when something bad happens, let's say I break my leg after I finish recording this video and whatever, something happens. I believe things happen for a reason. And even if it doesn't appear so, like, what do you mean things happen for a reason? You broke your leg, how could you, I don't know, right? I think it prevented me from doing something. I'm making an example. Imagine it prevented me. I'm a person of faith, okay? Prevented me from going out later to Walmart and something bad happened in that Walmart. I don't know, I'm making it up, okay? And you might say, Dahlia, that's not fair to say because things do happen, bad things happen to people in a Walmart. Why didn't God break their leg to prevent them from going? There's different reasons why different things happen to different people, okay? So don't ask me about the specifics. I don't know. This helps me in my stress and anxiety. So yes, I would hate to be stressed about losing all that money to go to Disney if I can't get it refunded, okay? Okay, you get the point, right? So I'm really good at changing my perspective my way of thinking, to help relieve my stress. And anything I do, I'm particularly good at it. There was one thing recently, I'm not going to discuss it, it's not my story to discuss, but that happened that made me not sleep at night. And honestly, I found out at night, so I didn't have the time to really work on my stress relieving tactics like I do to help me. So granted, it's not perfect, but in my defense, it was at night. Like how am I supposed to do that? I can't. It was hard. So I went to sleep not being able to sleep. So, I'm writing down notes here. I'm reading them. I said, I mastered this art by looking at the brighter side of things and changing my perspective to help with my anxiety. You would be smart to take what I'm saying. If you listening to this and you get it, perfect, love it. You get it, use it. If you're like, I don't know, Dahlia. Did I hear something? I would consider the strategy. Changing perspective is really important. Another story before I end this, okay, really quick, is, it's kind of too personal of a story. I'll just say it since I already started, okay? And I have to get back to work. But anyway, so a few years back, I had to go overseas for a family emergency. And overseas is rough, okay? It's a third world country. And I'm not giving you too much details, but a lot of things were happening there when I was there. And when I got back, it gave me a newfound respect for America, American soil, land, and my family. My family here, my husband, my kids. And so because I had that experience, I regularly think back when I'm frustrated with my surroundings. Not really. I'm not really frustrated with myself. I can't explain it, but when I'm frustrated with certain things in the house, I think back to how lucky I am to have my husband, him in particular, not just the husband, and my kids. I regularly use that situation. So yes, roll your eyes all you want, but I regularly use bad things to give me perspective, okay? You're not hurting anybody by doing it. It's just your thoughts. It's not like I'm thinking like, oh yeah, overseas is a shitty place, so I'm so happy I'm in America. Like nobody knows that you're thinking that. It just helps my anxiety, and that was extreme. I didn't think like that. I'm just saying like it's more complicated than I care to explain here. But I mastered the art of it. And anything like I have a couple friends, and one of them was going through something, and I was helping her with this perspective thing, giving her the bright side, and she said, I'm not patting myself in the back, I'm telling you, she said it's really helped her. And she's told her friend, who one time I had to talk to, we're not friends, but I talked to her friend, and she told me, you don't know this, but she's told me this and that about you. It was positive things about how I help her and stuff. And I was like, So for you guys watching, it would be in your best interest to work on strategies like that, to help in your perspective, changing your perspective to help you with high induced anxiety times. Anything that you go through, anything, you could use this tactic, even if it's super extreme. My examples are maybe not as extreme. But what else are you going to do? Say, no, Dahlia, I'm not going to use it. How could you say that this is going to help me with my stress and anxiety if I'm about to lose a loved one? It doesn't, you can still mourn and stuff, obviously, but like, it doesn't hurt. It could only help, right? It doesn't help when you're sitting there sulking or whatever. You may stop working as hard in your job. You may stop. It's only going to possibly hurt. My perspective, and hope you have a good day. Bye.